Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Now today we are going to take a closer look at the Xiaomi Mipad 3. We are going to talk about the positive things and negative things about it, compare it with the Xiaomi Mipad 2, and ultimately to check out if this is worth it or not. And we are back, and before we start talking about the Xiaomi Mipad 3, let me just take a few things right out of the way. First of all, that I've got the Mipad 2 right over here, and I'm using it to help me record this particular video. Now regarding the Mipad 2, I've been using it for the past year or so, and I'm really happy with this tablet. It's actually one of my favorite tablets available. I also have the iPad mini right over here, as you guys can see, and we did compare it last year with the Mipad 2 in terms of design and build quality and so on and so forth. And I will also leave some links down below so that you guys can check out my review and my videos about the Mipad 2, because honestly it gave me a few headaches, and for those of you that follow the channel know what I'm talking about. But as soon as I did install the official firmware from Xiaomi, everything worked great since then, so I've got no complaints at all at this moment with the Mipad 2. Now getting back to the Mipad 3, it suffers from the same weakness, which is firmware. Now the issues or problems are not as serious as it was on the Mipad 2 back when I did get my hands on it, but it's not a perfect tablet. And that said, I would like to alert some of you guys that there will be different experiences with the same tablet depending on the shop that we get it from. That's because these tablets are not running the official firmware, they are running the shop ROM, as they are called, and this means that every single shop like GearBest, TomTop and Geek Buying and so on and so forth will have a different firmware option right over here, and this will give us a different experience on the same tablet, which is something weird, but it's the reality of things. So guys, I will leave a link down below as always. This one is from GearBest, and if I can just give a spoiler alert at this moment, if you ask me, hey Robert, are you going to install the official firmware? Although I'm not a fan of a shop ROM, which is what I've got right over here, the issues that will come with the official firmware are more serious to me than the issues that I've got right over here on this shop ROM, which I will share with you by the end of this video. Nonetheless, let's move on and start with the unboxing experience. As you guys can see on screen, nothing worth mentioning, very simple unboxing, very clean, and as you guys can see, the accessories and of course the tablets. Now moving to a closer look, as you guys are aware by now, it is exactly the same as the Mipad 2. I actually like the design, and I know that some of you guys also do. It looks like a premium. Now we talked about this on the past, that it looks really similar to the iPad mini, which I've got one right over here on purpose for this particular video. But this is one of those tablets that we use on a daily basis, along with the Mipad 2. Android over there, iOS over here. Now moving along, as I was saying, in terms of design, I've got no complaints at all. It's well built, it feels premium, the screen is gorgeous with this retina display, and the back is made of this aluminium alloy, really nice. So in terms of hardware guys, I honestly haven't got any complaints at all. Now moving to the specifications, this is one of those things that I really don't understand why they have chosen this, but nonetheless, it's running the MediaTek 8176, 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of flash storage on a 7.9-inch display with a resolution of 2048 by 1536 on resolution. If you ask me, hey Robert, why don't you understand their choice? Just because it's actually the same, on par, on the same performance of the Mipad 2, and I believe that they should have spent more time improving the experience of the Mipad 2 than building a new Mipad 3. And I do understand how the market works. They have to release something new so that people will get it, but I do believe that the Mipad 2 was a great deal at a really nice price point, especially because it had only 16 GB of storage and it was cheaper than the Mipad 3. But the world is how it is, and let's see if they get it right, or if they're on the Mipad 4 they will get back to the Mipad 2 politics instead of the Mipad 3. Nonetheless, let's take a look at some benchmarks, and as you guys can see on screen, I did test out the disk speed test, Wi-Fi, Geekbench, Antutu, 3D Mark Score and Epic Citadel, just because I can't avoid it. I really like synthetic benchmarks just to compare with other machines, and in this particular case comparing with the Mipad 2, and as you guys can see on screen some numbers, we will see that they are both really on par in terms of performance, and this was why I was stating that they should have spent more time improving the 2 than building the 3. Nonetheless, there is an improvement on the Mipad 3, which is the single core score performance, which is basically what we use in almost any app. It's superior, actually a bit superior. We are talking about 500 points in Geekbench, which is a lot, to the Mipad 2. Nonetheless, the GPU performance overall is a bit bigger on the Mipad 2 than on the Mipad 3. But if you ask me, hey Robert, you have the Mipad 2 and the Mipad 3, do you see any differences in real world performance? And I'm talking about no benchmarks, I'm talking about gaming and talking about multitasking and so on and so forth. Honestly guys, I don't see any difference from this one to the other, with the exception that the Mipad 3 has a lot of storage. 64 gigabytes is more than I can personally use for the type of usage that I give to this machine. But so far guys, so good in terms of hardware. I do believe that in terms of design and hardware, this is a really balanced tablet, and in terms of the price tag, I don't believe that it's off. But let's move on to the firmware, which is where we will find some issues. Now, first of all, I must say that for those of you that don't know, I live in Portugal, and if ever Xiaomi watches this video, guys, Portugal is just next to Spain. It's a little country, but I do love it, and I would love to be able to choose the country that I live in, and I can't at this moment. I just can't. Nonetheless, this is not relevant, but it's one of these small issues that sometimes makes a difference. Now, if this brand, Xiaomi, wants to be seen as a premium brand, they will have to pay more attention to details, and this is one of those details. Now, moving on, in terms of installing apps, I had no issues at all so far. I did install a lot of benchmarks, as you guys already saw. I also installed Plex, Kodi, Nosh TV, which is my ISP IPTV service, Netflix, YouTube, and some games. And what I can say is that in terms of installing apps, the Google Play Store works fine, which is always one of my concerns. And in terms of using those apps, I also must say that I've got no issues so far. In terms of Netflix, it plays just fine. YouTube will play up to 1440p, and my ISP service from Nosh TV works always, well, not always, but in this particular case works great, which is good for me. Now, in terms of Kodi, what I can say is that Kodi will play up to 1080 and even some 4K files, but this will depend on the network that we have at home. And then on Plex, I was able to play my Blu-ray 1080 MKV files without issues. This because I've got a strong Wi-Fi connection, as you guys could see on the benchmarks a few minutes ago. Now, moving to games, which is one of the things that will consume most of the resources of these tablets. I did test around with the normal games that I use on a daily basis, Asphalt 8 Airborne, also with Respawnables, which is one of my favorite games, and as you can see on the screen, really great. Now, this is one of those scenarios that if you ask me, hey Robert, do you play better on the Mipad 2 or on the Mipad 3? There is no difference, guys. There is actually no difference in this kind of app, and these kind of apps are the heaviest ones on the Play Store, so you take your own conclusions. Now, the next test was game streaming, and this is one of those things that I do love. At least those that follow the channel know that we use here at home, and it's just great to be able to play AAA titles through the PC that we have on office, on a tablet such as this one or any other Android device. And as you guys can see on screen, the Mipad 3 was able to stream 1080 at 60 frames per second with no issues at all. And the game that I was playing at the moment was Rocket League, but I did test out with a few others and the experience was just great. Now, on the other hand, Asphalt Extreme did not load at all, so I could not play it. And this is not a hardware issue, it is a firmware problem that will not let this game play. I also found another issue when I was checking out the battery. As you can see on screen, when we press the battery status or the details, it will crash, which is something that is not very serious, but once again, it's a detail. Xiaomi, pay attention to details, or else you will never be a premium brand. You will be always on the shadow of other premium brands. Now, that being said, and talking about the different custom shop ROMs, as you want to call it, there are some reports of people having issues as well on taking screenshots with the Mi Pad 3, but I did test out with my unit and honestly I see no issues at all. So this just proves that there are different firmwares available from different shops, and the experiences on the same tablet with different firmwares will be completely different. So in conclusion, guys, what I can say is that in terms of hardware, there's nothing that I can say about it. Now, I'm not really happy because I do believe that the Mi Pad 2 had a great performance for its price, but I'm not sad as well because it's not inferior. I can do everything that I did on the Mi Pad 2, but with the exception that right now I've got the 64 gigabytes, which it was available on the Mi Pad 2. So once again, it's not an easy decision. Now, on the firmware side of things, what I can say is that for those of you that are asking, hey Robert, are you going to do the same that you did on the Mi Pad 2? Install the official firmware from Xiaomi? At this moment, guys, honestly, I'm not, just because I know the issues that I've got right over here. They're not huge for my type of usage, and I know that installing the official firmware will fix some of those, but as far as I've read, they will cause others, including issues or problems with the Google services, including the Google Play Store, which will give me problems installing apps, which at this moment I don't have. And this is something that I take really serious, because if I don't have a working Play Store, I will not have a pleasant experience. So I do prefer to stay with this firmware right over here, which is a GearBest Shop ROM, instead of installing the official firmware. And once the official firmware is able to fix these issues and have no issues on the Google Play services, then I will probably move to that. Until then, I will stay right over here with this firmware. And that is it, guys. We are going to conclude this video. It's not an easy choice, it's not a bad device. I just wish that they paid a little bit more attention to some details, and this doesn't mean that it's not worth it. It is, but in my opinion, honestly, if you can grab a nice deal on the Xiaomi Mi Pad 2, don't look around and get it, because it's a great tablet. On the other hand, if you are looking for something with 64 gigabytes of flash and it's new and so on and so forth, and you don't mind the issues that I found so far, and probably has a few more, then the Mi Pad 3 is not a bad choice at all. And that is it. As always, guys, my name is Roberto George, and I'll see you on the next one.